The old shed had been standing there for as long as I can remember, but now, suddenly, it was gone. The farmer had finally decided to tear it down and use the plot for farming instead. It was inevitable, of course, but also a reminder of how important documentary photography is. The shed now only lives on in these photographs and in the memory of people that have seen it when they have passed the place. So I guess the question that needs to be asked is, how do you photograph something that is not there anymore? How do you photograph a void or a hole in the existence? As you see behind me, this is where the old shed used to be. And now it's torn down, and all that exists is a sort of a square marking in the field. It is still something that is very interesting to document. And I will do my best to make at least a few photos of the place. So this is what I really like about the Fujifilm GFX system. Starting from the 50S and then to the 100 and the 100 Mark II, like this one. It's a modular system. Of course, you can replace the lenses, but you can also put on this EVF tilt adapter. You can rotate the EVF. And you can also remove it completely. If you want to remove the EVF completely, you can also use the camera without the EVF. And of course you can take away the EVF and just use the viewfinder. But I like to use the tilt adapter. It gives me a lot of flexibility with the viewing angles. So I will keep this on. And also you can put on a vertical grip if that's to your liking. So as I have the gear set up, I can tell you a bit about the gear head I use. It's made by the Canadian firm FLM, and I had an early contact with Ari, who runs the company. So it's a really great and sturdy, reliable piece of gear. It's called a gear head, of course, and you can adjust it in several different orientations. This particular model is the GE73 Pro, and I am not sponsored in any way by FLM, Fujifilm, Hasselblad or any other brands. So this geared head is an excellent piece of equipment, I would say. So this little lens looks absolutely ridiculous on this chunky GFX camera. But it's an amazing lens. It's an old Helios from Russia. And I will tell you more about it later in the video. I have tried to use the native Fujifilm GF lenses as much as possible in this project. But my secret weapon for making some of the images particularly dreamy and old-fashioned, I have this little miracle. It's an old Russian Helios lens, custom restored and adapted by Hispan, a Hungarian photographer and vintage lens guru. I will put a link in the description to his products. A few years ago I bought this beautiful little lens from him. He called it the Red Flare Monster. It is a 58mm lens. It has a fully open aperture at f2. So what I will do now is take the camera off the tripod and take a bunch of photos. Then we can look at them later at the studio. So here I am in front of the computer, and I have opened up Lightroom. I have done a bit of culling and marking the images with the keywords. So out of the almost 70 photos that I took out in the field, I have ended up with these 14 photos that I will do some extra work with. As you can see, I have marked these 14 photos with a 5-star rating. That makes it easier to sort them out to work with later in the editing module of Lightroom. In Lightroom, I have set up a preset for the kind of adjustments that I want to see in the images. And what it does is that it adds a duotone to the image, and also it desaturates, adjusts the contrast a bit, and it adds some grain. This is to mimic the feeling that I talked about in the previous episode, that of Emerson and Mann. Apart from the preset, I always end up doing some small tweaks with highlights and shadows, but overall it's a fairly quick process. I try as much as I can to get the photographs as right as possible in camera while making them in the field, to avoid too much time in front of the computer in post. And of course, after doing the tweaks, I export the images to JPEGs. I will show you a few of them, those that I think are particularly good, and perhaps together with the original photographs of the old shed and the environment around the old shed. So that's it. This was a short behind the scenes video of how I work with my project, the Swedish Midwest. One more thing. As I was going back home with my car, I passed this beautiful canola field in full bloom and with a beautiful avenue of trees at the horizon. I just couldn't pass it, so I stopped and took out my camera and took this shot. It's just an ordinary roadside shot, but it is one of those moments that you just pass by and forget if you don't document it with your camera. Anyway, I hope you liked the episode. See you!